It is really weird seeing what everyone else has accomplished and all this time that I feel like I have burned, thrown away, pissed away. And I kept saying all I've really done is gain a bunch of new injuries, but I've also let my health go to pot, which means go to shit in more than one, more than two, more than really many different ways. And that's unfortunate. I mean, my teeth hurt like a bitch. I've got to go get all kinds of fillings. It's terrible. And I just kept neglecting going to the dentist for a handful of reasons. Same with everything else. I'm going to finally start physical therapy more than a year after my car wreck. I'm going to start next week. I made my appointment today. I really got on top of it today with action. And as good as that felt, it also made me kind of want to cry. Like, I made a doctor appointment and they said, I said, as soon as possible, I want to do it. And they said, how about tomorrow? I said, oh, I have an appointment tomorrow. I have to go get my passport tomorrow. I said, okay, how about the next day? And I said, yeah, great. And then I thought back to over a year ago when I ended up having to wait 2 weeks to get a new appointment. And during that time, I thought that my condition worsened terribly and that I missed a window. And that has haunted me ever since. And I thought they could fit me right in either tomorrow, if not tomorrow, then the next day. This time, but last time I had to wait so long, it ended up being 20 days until I had a weird little piece of food stuck in my mouth here, until I got the prescription that I wanted, and it's never quit haunting me. It's terrible. So that made me really sad, but also just the fact that I could have done all these things all along. And that was part of what kept me from doing them, was telling myself, facing just how easy and simple they are is going to make me really sad. And it did make me sad. But you know what? It's still better than not doing them. And I'm going to look back on this period as a pothole. Nothing but a pothole. And I wrote a script and I changed the name not too long ago of it to Pothole. And I had originally had a song in my mind, an album, actually, not a song, that never came to exist, but I had an idea for an album and different songs and what they were going to be called. I don't remember the songs, but I remember that the name of the album was Potholes, which was a metaphor for hitting potholes, road bumps in your life, but also where I live, where I'm stuck at right now, West Virginia, which is a place notorious, and I guess people in other places wouldn't know this, but it's notorious for all the potholes in the roads. So it's a real, almost social commentary type of title. It has dual meaning, obviously. And that's all this is going to be, as a pothole. I want to move on from it. I want to put it in my past, put it in my rear view. And I've realized by not stopping and thinking about shit and just moving and getting it done, I'll just get it done. And there's still some things that I hold fear on that have to do specifically with, like, my movie that took me forever and is directly, unfortunately, associated with my injury that put me in this situation. And the only way to move on is to face it head on. And it's either going to not be bad at all, and then I'll feel bad that I put it off for so long, or it will sting, but as I push through it, it'll get better. But either way, I'm going to come out on the other end feeling so much better that I did it. So much better. And that's really the only option, is to face it and push through, because you're going to end up feeling so much better once you push through whatever that obstacle is that you're putting off. You know, it's the saying of, a lot of times when people talk about discipline and action versus procrastination, which is what I've been living in, they say it is the trade-off of having suffering and uncomfortableness right now in exchange for long-term reward and success, or long-term pain and suffering in exchange for short-term, temporary enjoyment, distractions. Obviously, it's difficult to choose the payoff in the long term, but once you train yourself to know that is better, that's what you want, that's what you need, and you make it your only option, it is your only option to do that, that's what you do. Easier said than done, right? I mean, I'm just now really getting to that point, but being there, I can see it, I can feel it, I can fucking feel it. I'm making to-do lists every single day. I'm crossing a lot of things off those lists every day. When I'm not doing anything, I feel bad about it. I was lucky to get good sleep last night, but even if I hadn't, I would have gotten after it today. And now, I made 4 appointments today. These are things I put off for so freaking long that it hurt to think about. And it sucks that I'm like, every time I make a new appointment and I don't miss it, I think about the ones that I missed. Every time I make an appointment with this doctor or even drive past that office, I think about the ones that I missed because I associate that with what happened and how much worse I got. And I blame myself like I missed this window. And I don't even know if that's true. I don't have any way to know. I've looked at all these different studies and compared them meticulously to a point that is, it'd make your head hurt. And it did. And all that guilt got me nowhere. And it's like, maybe I did miss a window that I could have made it better. But even so, it probably would have been very limited, if anything, but it doesn't even matter because all that is what is. And that's what I've been telling myself forever. All that is what is, right? This is what's real. This idea that I have an alternate reality version of myself that's so much happier, stayed in Florida, got a job, didn't have this injury, didn't come home, didn't get in a car wreck and have another injury, blah, blah, blah. That guy doesn't fucking exist. The only person that exists is me. And this all happened to me. Seeing all these people that I know pop out their 3rd baby, and they had 2 of them while I was sitting at home every day, doing nothing with my life, is super fucking weird to see. Because I don't even have anything to show for it. I didn't work out. I barely made any money. I worked like 2 jobs that both lasted a week. They were in my field, which is a really hard field to get work in, film, but they were both only a week long. And I haven't done anything else. I couldn't motivate myself to. I was too deeply in despair. That's what I keep saying. And it really was the truth, and I beat myself up for it. But it's not fair, because I need to be more understanding toward myself. But it just sucks because I hate that I wasted so much time. And I have no one to blame but myself. And I guess I need to reach the conclusion of, like, don't blame anyone. Or just move on altogether, really. Learn from my mistakes. And that's what I'm doing. I'm saying all this not because I'm incapable of doing it, but because I'm coming to do it. And it's been a fucking struggle. It's been hard work. I've made mistakes, but I'm making progress and I'm taking steps, and I'm going to learn so much from this. I want to be the kind of guy that gets shit done and makes shit happen. And that means I need to be a man of action and not a man of constant thought and procrastination. And I've learned that lesson. And there is the part of me that sees how happy everyone in Florida is and thinks of the life I could have had there, because where I live sucks, West Virginia. There's just nothing here where I live. There's nothing to do for a young person or anybody, really. And then I see these people, they're beautiful. It's all people in their 20s. It's how old I am. I'm 24. I moved down there when I was 23. I'm about to be 25 next month. So, it's over a year and a half now. I could have been there, making all kinds of professional connections, surrounded by people with tons of money that's unfathomable to me where I live, just all kinds of new people to meet, whereas here there's almost no new people to meet. It's night and day, and the only social scene here is going out to the same bars in a college town an hour away. It's completely unsustainable. It's completely unfulfilling. I mean, I was just going out to the bars when I was in Florida also, but there's just so much more to do, so much to offer. I can go down there and establish myself. I can start doing things in multimedia, and I can do that here too. I want to start making YouTube videos. I was going to do TikTok too, but now it's banned and I don't have it downloaded, and it won't let me download it again. I don't know if that'll last and how that'll go. And I've spent so much time talking about my problems and not facing them out of fear, out of procrastination. I gotta just face them. And I keep wanting someone to be there for me, hear me, push me, motivate me. That's why I make these, is deep down inside, I think someone will watch them and I'll be seen and someone will help me. Someone will help me feel better. Someone will push me. But ultimately, it's just gotta be me. And I kind of want to record like my moment, what I'm going through, because I know when I overcome all this, I can look back and it will suck to know that I had to go through this, because some people don't, but it also could be infinitely fucking worse. And I'm going to look back and I'm going to be fucking proud of myself for getting over this, because I know how badly I struggled and how down bad I was and in what deep, dark despair that I was. And I'm going to be fucking proud of myself for pulling myself out of it and reaching the greatest heights of what I want out of life and realizing I can overcome nearly all of these health issues in one way or another. And sure, the one that I missed the appointment for is the most uncertain, it seems, of all. And it makes me sad, and I feel like maybe I could have prevented it or lessened it. And I missed 2 appointments back to back just because I was fucking late and overslept. And I've had horrible guilt over that. But I don't even know if that would have made a difference. And I never will. And all I know is that this is what is. And I need to do what I can to get better now and move forward now. So anyway, that's what I'm working on. I've been telling the same story for over a year. Fuck, it's gotten old. So old. And I got nobody in my life, no real friends or connections, and I'm doing actually okay with that at this point, for the most part. There's days that come and go, and I need a haircut. I'm waiting to get a perm. I don't want to do it quite yet, but I'm making a shit ton of progress. Like I said, I made 4 appointments. Passport appointment tomorrow. Doctor appointment the next day. Dentist appointment. I had all kinds of different dentist appointments I need. One next week, and then a physical therapy appointment the next day, which will be beginning my physical therapy journey to try to fix my nerve issue from my car wreck. And these are all things I wish had never happened. And I told myself if I stayed in Florida, I would have never wrecked my car by hitting a patch of ice like I did here. But it happened. And, accepting it is a big part of moving forward. You have to accept it. That's the first step, right? And part of me is like, maybe I should see a therapist about all this. But at the same time, what use is that? Maybe. I'm not completely against it. But one thing at a time. And I'm making fucking progress. And I distract myself a lot, sitting around talking to my family when they're here. Specifically, usually just like my dad, my brother, my grandma occasionally, but mostly just when my dad, who I live with. But, I waste time. That's my fault. I'm on my phone and whatever. And your environment is something that you need to learn to navigate. So I gotta know when to put my foot down and say, all right, even though I'm very drawn to socialize since it's all I get, this is the only socializing I get most days.